Here on the Domino's postgame report, I'm Adam Cavalier alongside head men's basketball coach Chuck Benson. Chuck, fight tooth and nail with Queens, but ultimately it just comes down to about a 2.5-minute span in the first half where the Royals rattle off a 14-3 run. What happened on that spurt that turned the tide in this one?
Well, first of all, I want to give credit to Queens. They're obviously as good as advertised. They're a top 10 team. They will be a national contender. I'll be very surprised if they don't march right on through this thing and win the conference title. I was proud of our guys. I mean, I did think we showed some moments. We've been talking so much this year about putting together complete full games and a 40-minute sort of performance. And there was that stretch there. I don't know. It was maybe 15-5, 12-3. There was some kind of run there that happened. And so much of that is sort of a combination of we don't control the things that we can control, and then the quality team that Queens is, they capitalize. So they take our controllable mistake and turn it into a scoring opportunity for themselves. So, that's been something that we have struggled with throughout this season. Have shown that we have improved in that area, but just not quite enough that we could overcome the talent of Queens.
Had some weird things happen, though, in that spurt as well. I think Blake Morrow had a 4-point play on a moment where Reese Anderson comes out, shows the high hand, turns toward the basket, and then Morrow lands on him for a foul in the face. And then there was somebody else made a three down on the left corner.
It was a 5-point play.
It was a 5-point play with a foul. On a rebound that wasn't because the three went in. But that key a large section of the run.
Yeah, I mean, guys today are very creative. Shooters are very creative, especially three-point shooters. And in coaching circles, you talk all the time about flopping. And basically what that is when somebody's taking a shot and then they act as if they've been fouled. And I felt like in definitely one of those situations in Reese's that the kid sold the flop and the officials bought it. And and it was sort of one of those deals, too, where there were so many fouls called this game that I felt like – and this was a really good officiating crew, by the way, but I sort of felt like it got a little bit funky, the whole thing. There was a lot of whistles, some questionable calls. I felt like there was times when, especially the second half, even when we sort of we were in the bonus real quick and they weren't, and then we sort of they started sort of trying to get it more even and that. But that didn't at the end of the day that did not completely determine the outcome. They're really good, and we're good. So really good versus good. Really good is going to win a lot of times.
Wraps up the careers of your 4 seniors, and they all finish in double figures. What has this group meant to you? 4 straight winning seasons, 5 straight in the case of Mason Bates. And now 8 in a row, the second longest streak of consecutive winning seasons in program history.
Yeah, well, I told those guys up in the locker room we got done, Grant, you're the new guy here, and you've been a part of basically 40 wins and an NCAA tournament, and you're much appreciated. And then Parker Malik came years apart. They were buddies, and Parker sort of finally got more of a chance this year, and he capitalized. Malik Abraham, to be honest with you, was a guy that I really struggled with on different levels for these first 2 years. And this year, I just loved who he became. And I really, really enjoyed coaching him. I just told him, I was like, man, I really wish I had got to coach this guy for 3 years instead of just 1. But I really appreciate the guy he turned into this year and the way he competed. And he's going to be missed. And then there's Mason. And I told my wife the other night, I'm right there around that 300-win mark as a college head coach, and Mason's been a part of a third of them. So, to say I'm going to miss Mason Bates is an understatement. He's been a really invaluable part of this program. I think it's fair to say he's been a part of more wins in the D2 era than any player in the history of the program. He's won a championship. He's made NCAA tournaments. He's never had a losing season. He's helped lead a team multiple occasions in the top 25. I can't say good enough. And as all that, he's already graduated. He'll be graduating with his MBA here shortly. He's been a great ambassador, representative, and I'm going to miss him on a very personal level. I get very, very connected to these guys, and they become like family, like buddies, and a lot of times coaches don't really acknowledge that, but it's true. In our case, you become very close to these guys, and I'm really going to miss that guy.
further expand upon Malik, probably, if you look at it in terms of a yearly average, he is the best three-point shooter in Carson-Newman history.
Right.
He matches Charles Clark, a four-year player, for second all-time with 259 threes, and he knocks down 88 this year, ties himself for the second most in a single season. What about his efforts stand out to you on brief reflection from his career, especially his marksmanship from long range?
Well, I mean, his shot making speaks for itself. For him to be two in our history in 3 years, it says a bunch. And when the guy you tied is Charles Clark, everybody knows what Charles was about, and so it speaks volumes of his ability. There's no question that he's one of, if not just in terms of average, one of the best shooters ever be here, right up there with Steve Twine-Time Adams and Ish Sanders, Antoine Davis, these guys. So he's going to be sorely missed. I mean, there's no question about it. And, of course, we all focus on that. But the thing that really happened to him this year, man, he turned into an elite defender. He turned into a guy that was a facilitator. He shared the ball more. He was a great timeout, huddle guy. I mean, I think maybe with all of our seniors, this might have been sort of Malik Abraham was sort of the guy, in my estimation, that made the greatest strides this year, and I loved it. To say I loved it's an understatement. I really, really appreciated what he turned into this year, and like I said, we're gonna miss him.
Turn your attention to the off season. Where do you go from here?
Well, obviously we're in the midst of spring break, so I told those guys we'll get back. I'm sure you guys will be scattering home and enjoying the remainder of your break. Of course, we've got to focus in and make sure we just got done. We just got to the midterm, so we got to get back and really intensify our academic work, make sure everybody finishes strong, and then we will take a little time off and get back into workouts for our underclassmen. Those guys got a lot to do, a lot of improvement. There's no question we're losing a lot in terms of this graduating class, and so along with getting the guys here improved and seeing exactly how that's going to work out, we've got to recruit very aggressively and recruit very well. It's going to be a major. I think it's going to be we knew going into this year, Cav, that it was going to be a challenge because you can't lose a Charles Clark, the great one. Sean Jones, even Josh Murray's presence was critical. You can't lose all that and think that it's not going to have an impact. But we still were able to put this thing together and have a credible, respectable season. But now, what we're losing now, when you consider what we've got coming back, we've got a lot to feel, a lot. And so the determination of our returning guys, the determination of our staff to help those guys improve and to help add more players to our roster is going to be the greatest challenge we've faced in my tenure here, to be honest.
All right, Chuck, pleasure as always. We'll talk to you on signing day.
Great. Thanks, Cap.
That's Carson-Newman head men's basketball coach Chuck Benson.